Good morning and welcome to Today in LA. I'm Mike Amos, hoping that you're doing well today on a wonderful Thursday, a beautiful Thursday. We could use a little rain. There's a 30% chance of rain after 4 o'clock, and there's another 30% chance of rain before 10 o'clock. So hopefully one of those will hit us and wet our ground a little bit. You know, if you'll remember, gosh, over the last couple of years, you know, I'm conscious of my sprinkler system going off in the mornings and so forth, and it went off this morning like I wanted it to. But for the last 2 or 3 years, we really have not had to use our sprinkler system that much because we were getting a lot of rain. But the last 10 to 14 days, we haven't got a lot of rain, and it is getting dry. And if you'll walk over your grass this morning, you'll see what I'm talking about. Of course, a lot going on. School is out, and of course everybody's excited about that. And of course, a lot of people call this week Beach Week, and I took a little trip myself and enjoyed it. And but the weather is hot. The breeze is there, thank goodness, at the beach. But the beaches are hot, but awfully pretty, and the water is perfect. I can't think of a better time to go to the beach and enjoy it, and hopefully you'll be able to get away maybe today or tomorrow and head down there and enjoy the wonderful, wonderful weather. The Dunbar disposal is approved. The Troy Housing Authority has received federal approval to dispose of Dunbar Drive property that the Housing Authority alerted residents back in November. They were seeking approval to do so, and they finally have. So the residents are given 90 days to find a new resident, and all residents must be settled in their new homes by that period of time. Mike, how you doing?
Hi, morning.
What's going on down in Grayton Beach, Florida?
It's not a beautiful day. It's been a little warm, but it's supposed to cool off a little bit today. I think more like around 87, 88.
How does that song go? A beautiful morning.
I don't think it's rained down here for about 2.5 weeks. So
yeah, that's what we were talking about. You know, normally, you don't even worry about the sprinkler system going off, but boy, you do now.
I was driving on the beach yesterday, going to pick up the girls from the beach, and I couldn't believe there's at least 2 different trucks that were stuck in the sand because the sand's so soft, and people don't realize you kind of have to get a running start when you get out on the sand. You got to be going at least probably 5-10 miles an hour if you stop.
But the only place I know on the the western coast of the Gulf of Mexico, or the western coast of Florida and the Gulf of Mexico, the only place I know you can drive a vehicle out on the beach is Grayton, isn't it?
That's the only place down on the Panhandle that I know of.
How about on down further?
I know there's some places like Daytona Beach. And,
but that's on the other side, Mike. That's on the other side. That's on the Atlantic side.
I'm not sure. I mean, there might be some other places, that are not as populated. Maybe you can still drive a vehicle. Yeah. I'm not really sure.
Of course, we're excited.
I don't know if you mentioned already, but our thoughts and prayers go out to the Bramlett family. Rob Bramlett, of course, tragically passed away, I believe, on Friday night. And, of course, his wife was in the car as well. And tragic news for Auburn fans. I guess we haven't been on the air since then, but he was a great play-by-play guy on Auburn radio for 25 years. And they set up a GoFundMe page. They're trying to raise money for their 2 kids, and I think they've already raised $225,000.
Isn't that wonderful? How old were his children, do you know?
He had one that was a sophomore in high school and one that was a sophomore in college.
And then what happened, they were actually hit from behind by a young driver, is that right?
I don't know where they were hit. I just know they were hit by a young driver, and unfortunately both of them lost their lives. So tragic news for Auburn. Of course, he replaced the legendary Jim Fife and did a wonderful job. Actually, had been on the football broadcast since 2003. It's hard to believe that Jim Fife has been gone since 2003, but
I know it.
Auburn fans and, of course, the coaches and administration are all upset and devastated, which you can understand.
No question about it. And
I guess his biggest call, of course, was the kick six, and they're not going to keep him off the field tonight. I don't know how many times that's been heard.
Yeah, no, you're right. He was a great one, no question about it. And, of course, one of his very closest friends, Mike, is McKnight, the voice of the Trojans.
Yeah, I think Barry McKnight and him probably worked together at Auburn back in the day. And, I know.
And McKnight, I tell you, McKnight's got a pretty big in at Auburn. I'm sure they'll be looking for a replacement before too long.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of those situations where, Stan White's still going to be there to do, the color. You're going to have to find a play-by-play replacement. And I think Ronnie Brown, the former great running back, is their sideline guy. But I'm sure they'll find somebody before the season starts. Of course, they got meetings going on in Destin right now, so all the coaches are down in Destin right now for the SEC coaches meetings.
Yeah, I know it. There's something related to Ruggs, the linebacker, wide receiver. Is he a wide receiver or linebacker at Ole Miss?
No, he's a defensive back at Ole Miss.
All right, what's going to happen there? Do you know?
I don't know. I mean, his brother plays at Alabama, but his brother will be gone after this year. So wherever he goes, he'll have to sit out a year if he doesn't go to 1AA. I mean, I guess he could transfer to Troy and sit out a year.
Yeah, exactly right. Of course, a lot going on. Like you said, Will, I say it's a lot going on. This is probably one of the slow times of the whole year. We talk about Beach Week. Now, of course, there are thousands and thousands, I would say hundreds of thousands of people are in Florida this week celebrating what we call Beach Week. And after this week, I would think it'd be another fairly hard week of schools getting out. I think the Florida schools, they don't get out until Friday. So the in-state people will hit the beaches.
Yeah, I mean, I know down here I'm seeing a lot of Alabama tags, a lot of Georgia tags. I mean, it's definitely Beach Week. Of course, Memorial Day weekend was extremely packed. I know I was down your way, and I couldn't believe all the cars parked on the beach to go out onto the beach.
Oh, yeah, no question about it. It was perfect. The weather was perfect, and, of course, everybody talks about it being hot. Inland is hot, but it's a good breeze on the beach.
Yeah, good breeze on the beach. I mean, I know certain parts hit, I think, around 100. I know Troy was close to 100 the other day.
Yeah, no question. Troy University has set a date for Fan Day. That'll be August the 17th. Fan Day at Troy, and that's always a lot of fun. And also the big football kickoff party will also be on the 17th, and Fan Day is scheduled from 1 to 3 o'clock, with the football kickoff party scheduled from 6 o'clock on, and that's going to be a big day at Troy. And of course, I'm sure a lot of the folks are trying to get a little break time, and I would think this would slow it, but at the same time, guess what? Troy's got a camp coming in tomorrow. How about that?
Well, I mean, that's a big way to kind of, do your recruiting in advance to see these kids and how talented they are. And when it's all said and done, that's kind of how they build the relationships. I want to mention also, I guess we haven't been on the air since then, but congratulations to Coach Smart and the baseball team. They fought as hard as they could and won 2 games and unfortunately lost 2, but had a kind of a miracle comeback win in the 9th inning to win against a team that had been beaten by 4 times in Arkansas Little Rock. Frederick had a big double and scored 2 runs and had a walk-off win, and that was really exciting. But unfortunately, the next day they had to come back again at 8 a.m. our time, 9 a.m. Eastern time, and play a game against Georgia Southern in the semifinals, which is still hard to believe that Troy was shut out for, I think, the first time all year by Georgia Southern in a tournament setting. Most of and it's usually slugfest and high scoring, but Troy couldn't get on the board, and
Troy had an
the
excellent.
best chance was in the seventh inning. They had the bases loaded with 2 outs, but couldn't score.
Who ended up winning the conference championship, Mike?
Coastal Carolina, I believe.
That's what I noticed. They're playing Auburn. They're going to play Auburn in the first round. But it surprised me that they ended up winning.
You knew good and well that Coastal hosting, that was not good news for anybody.
Yeah,
that's historically, the best baseball program probably already in the Sun Belt. I mean, they're, not defending, but won the national championship, 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah. Do you think that, were they undefeated in the tournament, or did they get beat earlier?
They got beat early. I want to say they came back and won it all.
Yeah, they came through the losers bracket and won it all. And, of course, would have to beat Georgia Southern twice, wouldn't they?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, I got to go back and look at it, I guess, in the Sun Belt standings to see what happened.
Mike, we've got.
I know their record wasn't good enough to get it at large.
Yeah. Mike, we've got a Troy receiver is the latest to announce his intention to enter the NCAA transfer portal. It's Richard Hallman. Are you familiar with him?
Yeah, he's a senior tight end. A kid that's been there for several years and is played a little bit. Maybe caught, I'd say, 5 passes his whole career, but a guy that they counted on. He played. Only thing I could think is maybe Sam Linton, the kid that got hurt last year, and then they ended up redshirting him. Maybe he's back 100%.
Yeah, Hallman hauled in 5 catches for 96 yards and 1 touchdown in Troy's win over Texas State. That's 5 catches by a tight end. That was pretty good.
I didn't think Troy scored a touchdown against Texas State. I thought they kicked all field goals.
It says and 1 touchdown. But Hallman had his most productive season in 2018 as he caught 8 passes for 53 yards, including a 2-catch performance against Boise State and Florida A&M. But he has left the program. So that is 3 or 4 people that have players that have left Troy's program.
You got Tron Folsom at Colorado State. You got Marcus Jones at Houston, and you've got Sawyer Smith at Kentucky. So yeah, that's 4 guys. Hallman out of that group is definitely a guy that is not that big of a news. I'm not saying anything bad about him against the kid, but
you're right.
I think Troy will be pretty fine about him.
Troy, I don't know about Coach Lindsey, but Troy doesn't throw to the tight end much, and I don't know what Coach Lindsey's offense will do, but it's not a real. Most of the time they've got an extra receiver in there instead of a tight end. A lot of times you'll see a tight end when somebody's giving you a hard time rushing your quarterback, that extra man in the line sort of makes them have to run a little bit further to get to the quarterback.
Well, usually you have like a blocking tight end, H-back, and then you kind of have your kind of more athletic tight end that's more your receiver, I guess.
No question.
The kickoff time information for Alabama's SEC season opener was announced Wednesday. The Crimson Tide game at South Carolina on September the 14th will start at 2:30 on CBS television. So all you Alabama fans out there, Alabama will be on CBS, their regular spot, usually on CBS. It seems like at 2:30, and of course, big year for Will Muschamp. A lot of people think he has to win 9 or 10 games to, maybe keep his job at South Carolina. It's gonna be tough with Alabama traveling there.
No question about it. Troy University is one of only 4 colleges or universities nationally to be recognized as a Green Ribbon School post-secondary sustainability award by the United States Department of Education. Troy was the only institution in Alabama to receive the recognition, which honors innovative efforts to reduce environmental impacts and utility costs, improve health and wellness, and ensure effective sustainability education. So earlier this year, Troy earned a spot on the Alabama State Department of Education's list of green ribbon schools. So Congratulations to Troy University.
Of course, we also want to mention, going on as far as in Troy athletics as well, what was it? Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, I'm trying to blank on that. But I'll find it here in a second. I was reading about it. But of course, we got the NBA Finals starting up as well. We got Toronto Raptors playing the Golden State. So looks like Golden State will have the edge there. Toronto, of course, has never been to the NBA Finals, so everybody up in Toronto is extremely excited about that. Will you watch any of the NBA basketball championship?
No, I didn't watch much of it.
No, I mean, it's just starting.
Yeah. Of course, when's the first game? Tonight, or when they play the first game?
I believe the first game's tonight.
And that's going to be a lot of fun. And will it be played? Where will
it starts in San Francisco, Oakland area. It's Golden State tonight.
So that's going to be big for basketball fans to watch, and of course.
It's a game. It's tonight at 8:00 Central Time.
Well, and of course, San Francisco is there without their great player, aren't they?
Yeah, Kevin Durant's supposed to be back, I think, after Game 1. And DeMarcus Cousins, a kid out of Birmingham, has been hurt as well. Has missed pretty much the whole playoffs. I think he might be back for Golden State too. So
Cousins came out of Mobile, Mike, because I saw him play.
He came out of Mobile, but he also was in Birmingham and then moved to Mobile.
Okay. He played
out of Birmingham schools.
He played for a friend of mine down there, the former Livingston quarterback.
Of course, it's a situation where I think this is 5 straight NBA Finals for the Golden State Warriors, which is incredible.
Isn't that amazing? No question about it. Kerr is a great coach, isn't he?
Yeah, Kerr's a really good coach. Of course, he's got tons of talent. Also, I was going to mention the Memorial today starts in golf. That's Jack Nicklaus's tournament, so all the great players will be playing in that. So will be fun to watch that this week as well. Of course, it's a situation where golf, I guess, it's kind of they've changed their schedules up this year. You've already had the Masters, already had the PGA Championship. I think the next major is going to be the U.S. Open.
Yeah. Troy, I noticed signed another basketball player, Mike. Did you see that?
Yeah, I was looking at that the other day. I'll go pull that up.
I noticed he averaged.
Now, the kid from Brubaker out of Montgomery has signed with Troy.
He did sign?
The great guard, yeah.
He did sign.
Yeah, he did.
Well, that's big. That's real big. And that would be, was he a guard? This guy, the new guy was a guard.
Well, I mean, yeah, Troy's got a bunch of guards he signed already.
Yeah.
I'll have to read it real quick. But, yeah, he's finalizes the men's basketball signing class, so this is all the guys he brought in.
Yeah. Well, he got this kid.
Here's the list. Desmond Williams, the guard, the 6'1 kid out of Brubaker Tech High School. All this kid did was average 23 points a game, 4.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 2.5 steals per game his senior year at Brubaker Tech.
How big you say was he? Just 6'1"?
Yeah, he's 6'1". Desmond this is from Coach Cross. Desmond is a high-level point guard. Will make us better. Cross said. I think that he will be one of the top freshmen in the entire Sun Belt next year. So that's a great compliment there. Troy also signed a kid named Nicholas Stampley, a forward, 6'6", out of Eastern Florida State College. He's from Pompano Beach, Florida. He averaged 10 points a game, 7 rebounds a game. So he's another signee. Then they had a kid they got out of Texas, which is where Coach Cross came from. A kid named Lakebound Leffridge, forward, 6'6", out of Wilmer Hutchinson's High School. In high school, he averages 18.5 a game, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. Coach Cross said he's 6'6", long, athletic wing that can defend and score on all 3 levels. Cross said his length helps us get in deflections on defense, but his passing ability is probably the thing that impresses me the most about him. Then after that, they signed a kid out of Georgia Highlands College named Kayla Waters. Waters averaged 18.5 points a game, second most on his team. Coach Cross says Waters is extremely athletic. He can really score the basketball. Cross said he is a very versatile player that will be able to play multiple positions. And then they signed a guy out of Northwest Mississippi Community College named Jatorius Gordon, 6'1", point guard. Gordon is a high-level scorer that averaged 21 points a game at North Mississippi Community College.
Man.
And Carl said Gordon is tough. He can really badger the ball defensively. I don't know what that means. I guess that's like a badger, like a honey badger.
Yeah.
Carl said he shoots the three ball extremely well, too, so opposing teams will have to respect his shot. And then it stopped. Yeah, they signed another guard. This guy must be a two-guard. He's 6'5", Tajah Small out of Durham, North Carolina. That's pretty good basketball in Durham, North Carolina.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking about. Yeah.
He averaged 15 points a game at Marbury Area Community College, where in the world that is. Carl said Small is a very efficient basketball player who will help out of perimeter shooting and rebounding. Carl said Small was also helped versatility because he can play multiple positions because due to his length and skill level. So that's a lot of guys going to play for Troy basketball. I don't know who's left on the team. That's bringing a lot of new guys, a lot of new faces, and maybe that's what you got to do when you start all over and want to build it your way. You got to bring in guys that want to buy into your system and believe in what you're doing. So that's definitely what Coach has done. That's six players he's brought in.
That is phenomenal. And now, how many of those were guards, Mike? I
mean, you had Small was a guard, Gordon was a guard, and then the kid out of Brubaker Tech is a guard.
Yeah. So how many scholarship players do they have now? Do you have any idea?
I don't know how many. I mean, out of that group right there, that's 1, 2, 3, 4.
About Troy basketball, Troy University basketball.
6. So that's 6 new guys on scholarship playing basketball at Troy.
That's good. They're probably already on campus, wouldn't you think? I would think they would be
yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, the crazy thing is, I know Javon Johnson, he signed with Iowa State. But Troy only lost 3 seniors off that team. They lost Bernardo, they lost Hicks, and I think they lost B.J. Smith or B.J. Miller. I can't remember. I think that was his name. So anyway, that's 3 guys that they had scholarships open for, and then Johnson left, so that's 4 guys they had scholarships for, and then apparently 2 other guys off that roster from last year are no longer there.
Is Johnson
I don't know.
Yeah. Is Johnson the kid out of Decatur that?
He's a kid out of Decatur that was,
He was our best player coming back, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think he was definitely probably the best player coming back. I heard they kept the kid out of downtown Birmingham, Parker, that Williams kid that was 6'8", 6'9", real skinny, but real athletic. I think he could be a really good player for Troy. Hopefully he stayed.
Yeah. Well, he's off and running. I tell you what.
Of course, we don't know what's happened to the former coaches. We best of luck to Coach Cunningham and of course, Marcus Grant. I'm sure they'll find coaching spots, and Ben Fletcher, I'm sure will find a coaching spot as well. So
I tell you what, I'm gonna miss Ben Fletcher.
We'll hear their destinations. Mike Worley, who was on that staff, was retained by Coach Cross, so we know where he's going to be. Yeah.
I tell you, you're right, a good bunch of guys, and we hope they'll end up finding good opportunities, and I'm sure they will.
2 or 3 years ago when we were in Greenville, South Carolina, watching Troy play Duke in the NCAA tournament,
that was last year.
We were going to be really good in basketball for a long time, but just didn't work out that way.
Yeah. Of course, in baseball, we were at the regional tournament. Tell us a little bit about the regional tournament. Representing the Sun Belt is Coastal Carolina playing the Auburn Tigers. Can you believe that? That could have been Troy playing Auburn, couldn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't think about that. Well, I mean, Troy, has played Alabama a few times in tournaments, so that wouldn't be that big of a surprise, I guess. They try to make it as regional as possible.
Exactly right. And, of course, that is a fun event. And now, of course, in Alabama softball is playing this week for the national championship. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's 8 teams playing in Oklahoma. Of course, Alabama unfortunately has to open up with a state team, and in Oklahoma, and Oklahoma's the number 1 seed, so it's gonna be tough for Alabama to come out of that bracket and get to the championship series. But they've had a really good season. I think they've won 58, 59 games.
Yeah. I was looking at Auburn. You know, they were able to, they must have played pretty well in the tournament, did they?
Oh, up in Birmingham?
Yeah.
Oh, in baseball, they only won one game in the tournament, the SEC tournament.
But they were able to make the tournament, the SEC, I mean the national tournament, which is going to be fun.
Well, I mean, it's just that their strength of schedule is so good. I think that's what kind of helps Auburn.
Yeah, no question about it. But we'll be watching that. And, of course, Alabama softball, we'll be watching that. Let me put you on hold a minute, Mike. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Hey, Mike. It's Will Matthews.
Good morning, Will. How you doing? Let me transfer Mike back over to you. I'm going to put you on hold, and I'll get back with both of y'all in a second. All right, let's see here. There we go. We got both of you. There we go. All right, who we got? Will, we got both of y'all now? Will Matthews.
You got me.
I got Michael. I lost Will. We'll get him back here in a minute on our show. Of course, Will is been a local attorney in the Ozark area for several years, and of course, his law firm is one of the more respected law firms in South Alabama and that part of the country. And of course, it's he's been in it a long time. Of course, we want to mention our friends at Jim Skinner Honda today. My good buddy Garnett Rigsby's got some great deals going on right now. And also at Max Federal Credit Union, located on the bypass right here in Troy. Mike Amos is on the phone with us, and Will Matthews, did you ever come back on? So Will
be back on.
We'll get back on in a moment. Hopefully, we'll be able to.
I've got the NCAA baseball brackets if you want to hear where everybody's playing.
All right, let me put you on hold first, and I'll. All right. Good morning, Will. Is this you? Will Matthews.
You got me.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna put you on hold and go to Will Matthews. Will, good morning.
Good morning, Mike. How you doing?
Doing real good. Did you have a good weekend? What's going on?
Not much. Just hot.
Yeah, no question. Here, I'm bringing Mike Amos on right now. That should do it. Are y'all both on now? Yeah, we got Will Matthews. We got the whole crew on right now, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Amos calling in from whereabouts in Florida?
Great Beach, Florida is where I call home.
Okay. And Will Matthews from deep south Dothan, or are you already at your office in Ozark?
I'm actually headed to Abbeville. I've got a trial in Henry County today.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this about your good friend Donald Trump. Did he dodge a bullet yesterday? What happened?
Oh, I think it's just all a bunch of rhetoric going back and forth. I don't put any steam in it.
I'm sure that.
When is this ever going to end? I'm so sick of hearing about it.
You know,
it's going to end in November of 2020 when Trump gets reelected.
Yeah.
It'll end.
You know, all you had to do is I listened to the verdict this weekend, and the way they
it wasn't the verdict. It's just that he finally came out and spoke to the public.
It finally came out and spoke to the public, but everything he said, you could sort of look at his mannerisms that like he didn't want to say that. You know, that's what it made me look like. What did you think?
Well, I mean, they spent $30 million and they hadn't come up with anything. So
I know it.
I ought to say something.
$30 million, exactly right. And tell us about what's happening with the tariffs. Everybody says that, China is not wanting to pay those tariffs, and Japan's not wanting to pay those tariffs. Isn't that right? Hello.
For years and years, they've taken advantage of us.
Oh, I know it. I realize that, and
Trump's not going to do it anymore.
Yeah. They were talking about that China had something that one of the things that they import or export to the United States is it's called a soil. What is it actually called that they claim that we can't get anywhere else and we need it? Y'all know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I know something China can't get, they can't get anywhere else is food, and that's what we're good at.
Yeah, you're right. Food, but all these other countries going to start producing food. What's going to happen? You know?
They can't produce it like we can produce it.
Yeah, no question.
I know it's a bad time to try to get countertops for your house because they said all the tariffs going on, that all the shipments are out on the freighters and they can't get them into port.
Oh, really? Oh, gosh. Man, it's gonna end up a real problem, though, I'm afraid. You know, on both sides.
Well, I mean, Trump was over in Japan playing golf with the president over there. I mean, apparently he's got a decent relationship with them, doesn't he?
Well, you know, the automobile business, you know, is big in Japan, and I'm sure now that they're going to have to start paying more money to sell those cars in America, you know.
Well, they've been tariffing our cars over there forever. Well, we can't sell cars anywhere.
No question about it.
So, Will, it's the Memorial this week. You ever play that golf course?
I have, and it's a very nice golf course. Now, back when I played it, it's changed a lot. Nicholas has made it a lot harder, but it was fairly easy when I played it. Big wide.
Don't they say this is like Nicholas's version of the Masters of Augusta?
Now he's got an identical hole to number 12 at Augusta. It's number 12 on his course over there. It's just like it.
Okay.
And, you know, and there's several similarities. It's got a lot of hills in it. You know, it's like Augusta. Beautiful golf course.
Of course, you were on the spot. I don't know if we've talked since Bruce Koepka won, I guess, going away in the PGA Championship, even though he almost faltered down the stretch. Of course, Tiger didn't make the cut, like you said. Of course, I guess the majors we got coming up next is what, U.S. Open?
Yep.
That'll be Pebble Beach and Phil Mickelson's last chance to maybe win a U.S. Open.
And I think he's going to win it. I'm just convinced that this is Phil's tournament to win. Destiny is, you know, I think it was either last year's U.S. Open or the year before. He didn't get to play because his daughter was valedictorian of her high school class.
Yeah, I remember that.
Go to the speech and graduation.
Yeah. You know, I tell you who played well in that.
Yeah, that would be history. He'd be the oldest major champion of all time at 49 if he wins it.
Tiger probably played that course more than any course out there. When you say that, because he played at Stanford, and I'm sure they played there a lot, don't you think?
Really, no, Mike. They probably never played.
Well, you don't think they would have let Stanford use that facility?
No, it's so expensive too to play. And the Stanford golf course is one of the best 5 golf courses in California. It's a phenomenal golf course Stanford's got.
Yeah.
The university course.
Yeah, I got you. I'm sure Tiger is.
You know, plus Pebble Beach is probably an hour and a half away too.
Yeah. Now, and of course, at one time, it was considered $250. 20 years ago, it cost $250 to play that course. What would it cost now to play that course? If you just walked up.
It's $600 now.
$600?
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of people will go out of the way to play that course just to say they played it for $600, wouldn't they?
Sure.
What
do you think, if you could pay to play Augusta National, what do you think they could charge people to play that?
Oh, gosh, you're exactly right. They could get 1,000 easy, couldn't they?
They get more than that.
You know, even at the beach now, all of those golf courses are getting more and more expensive. Over there, let's see.
I'll tell you, a bargain at the beach, you could play the Ombre for $3.
Yeah, but it's gone now. I rode by it and it's got weeds growing all over their golf course. It's you know, they finally shut it down. Did they just run out of money or what happened?
I don't know what happened, but
Well, I mean, there's a drought down here. They probably can't afford to water it.
Well, you know, I mean, they've already closed it down. It's a shame because it was a nice golf course. I hated it.
I mean, was that property just more valuable just to build on?
That must be what the case is. But now, and of course, I've got friends that live there. It's a very nice place to live. But now, how would you like to know, Will, that you invested a lot of money in a house, let's say a year ago, bought a house and on hole number 5, you know, using an example or whatever, and then they turn around and close down the course? Boy, that would be a slap in the face, wouldn't it?
Well, your property value just dropped about $50,000 to $100,000.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it really has.
What about the holiday course we used to play on? They're still open, aren't they?
Yeah, in fact, they're trying to make it a lot better course. Will, did you play that course a lot over the years, Holiday?
Mike, I played there Saturday. It's very good.
Well, you know,
they got some big alligators out there.
I'll tell you one thing about that place is, if you hit it in water, you can forget it because that water is so dark. No way you can find a golf ball.
And they got alligators.
Oh, I've turned around and seen them right at my feet before.
Well, you know, they pay scuba divers down in Florida to go down there and get all those golf balls out. That's a known fact.
Oh, yeah. I wonder how many golf balls could you find around probably the most famous par 3 in the world at Jacksonville. You reckon how many golf balls have gone in the water there, Will?
Oh, thousands.
Thousands. Probably more than any hole out there, wouldn't you think?
Oh, yeah. If you miss the green, it's in the water. So I imagine most golfers playing that hole, average golfer will miss the green at least once.
Yeah. And you don't know for sure.
I mean, I guess Wild Heron, that's a private course down at the beach. You can't get on out there, can you?
It's ultra private, yeah.
Yeah, the sharks too.
I looked at some property there, and that was one of the reasons I backed away because it's a charge for everything. I mean, they charge you, and they don't even have a what you call a boat dock. You know, it's just, you know, and that turned me off too. You know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's one of the courses I heard that's one of the more difficult to play as well. I heard it's pretty tough.
It's for average golfer, it's a nightmare.
And of course,
What about Bay Point? You said Bay Point it's not. They don't have their golf course anymore. Or they're just not.
No, we're talking about Ombre, Mike. The Ombre, not Bay Point.
Will mentioned something about Bay Point.
Bay Point is closed. The older course, the Meadows course.
What you mean? The one that was so hard to play?
No, the Nicholas course is open, but the Meadows course is closed.
Are they going to open it back up? Or are they going?
I don't know. Who knows?
And
the dirt course is still open. Maybe one of the worst courses in the world, Signal Point or Signal Hill.
But you know what?
Awful.
Yeah, I know it is, but at the same time, you look at the you know, most of the people that play it are older folks like me, and they can walk it. It's not a hill on that golf course, you know.
It's like a par 62.
Is that what it is now?
Yeah.
And of course, you know, golf is, I was talking to somebody from California the other day, and, you know, most of those folks out there can't even afford to play golf. It's so expensive now.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's hurting golf, don't you think?
Golf's a dying sport.
You think so?
Yep.
Yeah, well, I know as far as cost is dying, no question about it.
I just bought 4 dozen golf balls, so I guess I'm going to keep playing.
Oh, yeah. Where'd you buy them?
My pro shop at Country Club was selling, you pay for 3 and get 4.
Uh-huh.
I got me 4.
Well, that's good.
Well, you know, Mike Amos has got about 20 sets of golf clubs. You got to just start giving them away to young golfers in Troy to let them start playing.
Yeah, I know it. I probably need to. I got way too many golf clubs and can't hit any of them.
If you'll sell them, you can take them to a store down in Dothan that's called Play It Again. They'll buy all your used clubs.
Really? That's amazing. You know, most of them, though, won't give you what it's worth, though, you know.
You know, Will, you know this kid, he played at Troy and was the top Troy golfer for like 3 years, and now he's transferred. He's going to be playing at Georgia this year. I think he played at Providence Christian. Colin Masters.
Yes. Mhm.
You mean he's left Troy to go to Georgia?
He finished third in, I guess, the Coastal tournament down at Dothan Country Club the other day. But yeah. I didn't realize that he had left Troy, Dad, and he's now playing at Georgia, you know, one of the top college programs in the country.
Boy, that hurts.
He left when Matt Terry left.
Oh, he did? I didn't know.
Yeah, Matt Terry went to Louisiana Tech, and he left right then.
Exactly.
But, I mean, this kid shoots in the low 60s all the time.
Yeah, he's a good player.
But, you know, he'll have to make the team at Georgia. Isn't that crazy? Like, Bubba Watson, I don't know, played a whole lot at Georgia either. You got to make the traveling roster to play in tournaments. Tell people about that. Did y'all have that at Vanderbilt, Will, where you had to make the trip, I guess?
Oh, yeah. It's qualifying.
So you had guys on your team that never even would play in tournaments.
Well, there were several that never played.
That's amazing. I don't think people realize that.
Well, it's amazing to me. You know.
I'll tell you a little story about me. I was all SEC my first 2 years at Vandy. In my third year, I had a bunch of final exams, and I was studying and staying up all night, and we had a qualifier, and it was like 4 rounds, and I was in 7th place, and with about 1 round to go, or I wouldn't even been on the team, and I ended up, I think I was the 5th, I ended up the 5th spot, and I wound up coming 3rd or 4th in the SEC. But that's just, you know, we had qualifying. You had to qualify. Yeah.
Well, college golf is pretty big. I think Texas won it all, didn't he? Didn't he win the...
No, Stanford won. Stanford beat, in the semifinals, Stanford beat Vandy, and Texas upset Oklahoma State, and then Stanford beat Texas yesterday.
All right, so Stanford won the national championship.
Right.
Well, that's real competitive, isn't it?
Yeah, Vandy's been in the top 5 all year. And they had a good chance to beat Stanford and lost 3-2.
Yeah.
3
Yeah, I mean, I guess Alabama's program's kind of fallen off the last 2 or 3 years. They used to be in it every year.
Oh, Michael, it was horrible this year. They came in like 12th in the SEC out of 14 teams.
You know, at one time he was a young coach. He's not a young coach anymore, though, is he?
Who was that?
Well, you talking about Sewell?
Yeah, Sewell, the coach at...
I mean, I'd say he's in his 50s.
Yeah. Well, one time was one of the great recruiters out there, you know.
Well, the reason, let me tell you what happened to Alabama. The recruiter for Alabama that was getting all the players, Vandy hired him. Now,
Oh, boy.
Now, Vandy won the national championship 2 years ago, and they're in the top 4 or 5 every year. So, I mean, it's a reversal.
Well, we appreciate First Cahaba Bank
this
this
is pretty,
morning.
amazing news at the University of Alabama's law school. Hugh Coverhouse Jr. donated $26 million to the University of Alabama Law School for them to name it after his dad, the former owner of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But now, because of all the abortion stuff going on in the state of Alabama, he wants kids and families to boycott the University of Alabama, and the University of Alabama is talking about giving back his $26 million donation back to him, and then going back and taking his name off the law school. That's pretty interesting, isn't it?
Oh man, it is because of this.
I think I think they're doing the right thing. I mean, if he's gonna do that, then they need to give him his money back. They don't need it. They've got. I think the endowment for the law school is like $3 billion. So what's $25 million?
I know.
Coverhouse Jr. has donated him and his wife over $40 million to the University of Alabama.
Isn't that amazing?
Because both of his parents were Alabama grads, but he's a Florida grad. But pretty interesting story there, to say the least.
This is Hugh Coverhouse still living?
No,
he passed away.
Yeah. This is his son that's creating.
Yeah, this is his son. And now his dad was born in Birmingham.
Yeah.
And was the owner of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Right, and an interesting story about Hugh Coverhouse. Bo Jackson told him if he drafted him, he was not going to play football for the Tampa Bay or whatever they were. Okay? And they drafted him anyway, and that's why he went into baseball.
Oh, really?
Yes, and then eventually he played football for the Raiders, but he was drafted by the Tampa Bay Bucks.
You know,
number one, and Bo Jackson told him under no circumstances would he go play for them.
I tell you something else.
Yeah, Tampa Bay was such a horrible program back then. They had so many losing seasons.
Well, and let me tell you this: one of the greatest coaches to ever live, as far as a college football coach, John McKay, did not ever win a game at Tampa Bay. Can you believe that, Mike?
I can't believe that.
He did.
He lost the season, the whole season.
He lost every game he ever coached in the pros.
Surely he won a few games.
I don't think he did. Not regular games.
Oh, I'll have to Google that.
Yeah, Google that. That would be something. Well, John McKay was a longtime head coach at Southern Cal during the heyday of O.J. Simpson and all those folks.
There was one season he went 0-15 or 0-16, however many games they played.
Yeah, exactly. I know one season, but I was wondering his whole career. I don't believe he ever hardly won a game.
Now, he won some because he coached more than 1 year.
Yeah, but isn't that amazing? And he was a great, great college coach. Well, you know, Steve Spurrier never really made it, when he went to the pros, So, it's a different game, don't you think?
It's hard to coach players that make more money than you do.
I know it. You're exactly right.
All right, McKay in the NFL, he started in 76. He went 0-14. 77, he went 2-12. 78 at Tampa Bay, he went 5-11. And then he was first place, Dad, in 1979. He went 10-6.
What, really?
Yeah, first place in the NFL.
Are you talking about John McKay?
Yeah, lost to the Los Angeles Rams in the NFC Championship game. The next year he was 5-10-1. 1981 he was first again, went 9-7. 1982 was a strike year. He went 5-4. 83 he went 2-14, and then in 1984 he went 6-10. So he's 44-88.
Oh gosh! Well, he coached a lot longer than I thought he did. Are you sure? This is John McKay?
I'm looking at it on Wikipedia. It's legit.
My apologies.
Now USC he was 127-40.
Oh, I know it. He was really good. Yeah.
They won 4 national championships.
I know it. He was a great coach, and he and Bear Bryant were real good friends. And of course, Coach Bryant played him in Birmingham one time, and he had a great tailback at Southern Cal, went up and down the field on Alabama.
He had in '62 he went 11-0, won the national championship. In '69 he was 10-0 and won the national championship. USC was 12-0 in '72, and I think they were co-champions in '67.
Golly. And but of course he did not have a successful pro career. Let's say that he lost way more than he won.
Well, I mean, a lot of guys have not had successful pro careers.
Yeah, no question about it. Okay, of course, we appreciate the Upstore on South Brundy Street, and man, I tell you what, I utilize them all the time. I take these small pictures and I have them blown up, and it's very readable. And these look so good that you can actually mail them to a friend, and and they'll really enjoy it. You take a small picture and enlarge it, you're much more conscious of that picture than you were before. And it really is good. Of course, Wise Office Supply, located right across the street from me here on South Brundy Street. And of course, for school supplies, business supplies, you can't beat those guys today. And Express Oil Change, and of course, they've got a full service a garage now that can do all kinds of work on your automobile. And of course, not only new tires, they're in the tire business. And, of course, the best place in the world to get your oil changed is through Express Oil Change. I want to mention our good friends at Little Caesars. And I still say, for the money, it's the best deal in town. $5.38 for a 12-inch pizza with, I think, one topping. for $538. That's a bargain.
What?
Will Matthews, where are you this morning?
I'm in Abbeville.
Abbeville. What are you doing over there?
I've got court over here.
Oh, okay, okay. And of course, that's an old courthouse. How long has it been there, you reckon?
What were you saying, Mike?
How old is that courthouse there? Would you say? Would it go back?
Abbeville?
Yeah.
No, it's probably 30 years old, maybe.
Oh, really? I thought it was one of the older ones. I didn't know.
Well, big news out of the SEC. Of course, Troy already does this, but Georgia this year will sell beer and wine at their home football games to the fans.
Yeah. And, at Troy games, at least I don't notice it that much. I don't know if they sell a lot of beer. I really don't.
Well, I mean, you got a lot of people that are in the stadium club that have their own lockers that can bring whatever they want.
Maybe I'm sitting.
Let's be honest. How many people bring in alcohol to football games? I mean, it's notorious. I mean, I've never have experienced cleaning up after a football game at a Division I program, and I can only imagine the amount of miniature whiskey bottles and vodka bottles you find throughout those stadiums.
Well,
hey, let me tell y'all a story. This is Mike may remember this fella. I don't know. Anyway, my golf coach at Vanderbilt was Jess Neely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They named the stadium after him, didn't they? Or he was a coach.
Yeah, that's right. Jess Neely was retired athletic director at Vanderbilt, and he coached the golf team while he was at Vanderbilt. Okay, so I played for him. Coach Neely told me he was the head football coach at Rice back when Coach Bryant was at Texas A&M. And Coach Neely was at Rice when Tommy Lewis came off the bench and tackled Dickie Magley in the Cotton Bowl for Alabama.
That's right.
And when Alabama played Rice. Well, anyway, Coach Neely said one Sunday morning about 6 o'clock, he gets a call from the head janitor of Rice Stadium at Houston, where they played.
Yeah.
And he said, Coach, we got a huge problem. And they had played LSU the night before. There were 20,000 empty whiskey bottles in the stadium.
Oh, man.
And you know what Coach Neely told him? Gather them up, son. We're going to get the deposits on those lists.
Oh, boy.
So
it's amazing how true that is. Though. Like when we went to see Troy play NC State, I'll never forget in the bathrooms there, they had signs that read, "Please do not throw your alcoholic bottles in our toilets."
Yeah.
They had that written, in the bathroom stalls.
Oh, man, they're that terrible. Yeah.
Don't throw your miniatures. I mean, like everybody knows they're there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll say one thing about the University of Alabama, though. They have actually, attendance at every single one of their restrooms throughout the games where, I mean, you really don't have to deal with that issue. That's probably why they have to hire them, just to do that.
Oh, to have attendance, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I'm wondering, Mike, if Troy's going to allow beer and wine sale, they're going to outlaw those people bringing it into their locker.
Well, Troy's been doing it 3 or 4 years now, Will.
Yeah, this is for people that are not in, the boxes. This is, for your
yeah.
This is for your general admission fans that can have draft beer.
Yeah.
They have draft beer at baseball games.
Yeah, they have it at basketball and baseball games. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, it's been going on.
$5 a hit. Well, something like that. $5 a hit.
I mean, Dad and I went to basketball games at South Alabama, I mean, probably 10, 12 years ago, maybe longer than that. They had draft beer way back then.
No question about it. They sure did. And that was right there on their campus, too,
Yeah.
Times have changed. I'll tell you what, no question about it. And they've, I reckon it's best to just go back and be able to make money on it, or when they sneak it in, you don't make any money.
You've seen it in SEC games. How many times in SEC games has there been a bad call and the student section throws all their drinks on the field?
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as it's not like in pro football where you hear stories of fans in Philadelphia throwing batteries and heavy stuff hitting players in the head. I mean, you used to hear all kinds of crazy stories.
Troy University has August the 17th as its fan day, and that's going to be a big day. It's also the big raffle, and big Troy University celebration is that night. So you'll have your picture day that afternoon, scrimmage that morning, picture day that afternoon, and then the big drawdown later on that night at the Trojan Center. Of course, school is getting back in. Of course, I reckon the only time that a college football player gets any time at all is between the end of the spring semester and the start of the summer semester. I think they get maybe a week to 10 days, and that's it. Isn't that right, Will?
I think most of them work out and go to summer school.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. They end up going to summer school, and what I'm trying to say is it's very, very little free time for a kid that plays college football. It's very little free time.
Yeah.
But
you mentioned us. Alabama is signed to play a 3-game series against South Florida, not Central Florida. So a lot of Alabama fans were, I guess, kind of hoping that they would play Central Florida instead. But South Florida is coached by Charlie Strong. They'll have 1 game in Tampa and then 2 games in Tuscaloosa. So that's been added to Alabama's future scheduling. I don't think that's much of a big deal playing South Florida.
Yeah.
No.
No, I don't think so either. No question about it. Of course.
I wish Alabama would play Florida State again. That was a great little thing they were doing. You know, when they played them, even though they.
Yeah, but I wanted to be home at home. I don't want to play in Jacksonville like they did. I think that's a game you need to play out on campus.
Yeah. Will, I know where I was. I was in the middle of a dove field when Florida State came to Tuscaloosa, and they hadn't won a game. And the coach he coached from the press box. The only time I can ever remember a head coach coaching from the press box. And they had us beat until.
Do you remember his name?
Mata wanted, or what was it?
Daryl Mudra.
Yeah, Mudra. Yeah, exactly. But and let me tell you this: I was trying to shoot birds and listen to the radio, and then this was back when you didn't have all those games on TV and everything, and you listened to it on radio while you bird hunted. You remember that?
Right.
And Alabama was getting beat until the final seconds, Mike. Do you know what happened right there at the end?
I'll tell you what happened.
All right, I want to hear it from Will.
Is that when Bucky Berry made a field goal?
And Bucky Berry, but the guy that made the great catch was the Wizard of Oz, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that isn't what did the game, Mike. I mean, this was a game. Florida State dominated the game.
Exactly. The whole game.
And the whole game, they were ahead 7-0, and then Alabama kicked the field goal, made it 7-3. And Florida State had the ball.
And it was late in the game, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2 minutes to go in the game. Florida State's got the ball, and they're ahead 7-3. And they've got it on their own 10-yard line, and it's 4th down. Daryl Mudra instructed the punter to down it in the end zone for a safety and made it 10-5.
Yeah,
made it 7-5.
That's right.
And that let Alabama kick a field goal to win the game.
It sure did.
If he kicked it 7-3, Alabama would have had to make a touchdown to beat him.
Sure did.
It was it's the stupidest call ever made, and Alabama escaped with a win, and Florida State didn't win a game that year.
I know it. I remember that. And one other thing about it was, not only did they took a safety and gave Alabama 2 points, but they kicked off from the 20-yard line.
Well, that's what they.
I mean, what I'm saying, Alabama, as soon as they caught the ball, they were all right in field goal range, weren't they?
No.
I thought on a safety you had to punt the ball.
Well, I know the safety, they took a safety, Florida State took a safety, and then they had to kick it back to Alabama. You remember that, don't you?
Of course, that's the rule. But, I mean, they kicked off from the 20, so.
I know, that's what I'm saying. See, by kicking off from the 20, that gave up a bunch of yardage, what I'm saying.
Well, it would have been better to keep punting out of the end zone is what his theory was.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And he punted, so he got a free punt from the 20. You figure he's going to kick it at least 40 yards.
Yeah.
Then you add the 15 yards back. The guy usually that's 55 yards. So he should have kicked it you
That's
to at
right.
least the other 25.
Paul Bear Bryant was the coach, and I'll tell you this, that would have been one of the biggest embarrassments in Alabama history right there. A 0-win Florida State team beating the Alabama team, and they should have done it, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
That's amazing the way people think sometimes. And like you said, if they don't take the safety, Alabama's got to score a touchdown to win the game. Is that right?
That's
You think somebody went to that coaching box and put some money there or something?
I don't know, but it's the only time I can ever remember that where a head coach coached from the press box. You remember that, Will?
I didn't remember he coached the press.
I'll tell you another big comeback.
That's happened before, as far as like coaches coming off injuries or medical conditions.
Yeah.
I've heard of that before, but maybe back then that was one of the first times.
Tennessee and Alabama, back when our buddy from Dubose used to play linebacker from Alabama. Very similar. The game was played in Knoxville, I want to say, and Dubose blocked the kick late in the game, and I think Alabama was down by 10 points or something like that, and Dubose blocked the kick. And then later on, it was just under 2 minutes to play or something like that. He recovers a fumble, Dubose does, and Alabama scores and wins 14-10. But that was all done in the last 5 or 6 minutes of the game, where Alabama came back against Tennessee.
Mike, in that game, it was in 1974.
All right, you remember that.
Alabama only completed 3 passes the whole game until Ozzie Newsome caught one there at the end to get them in field goal range.
Yeah, and of course that was a great win.
What happened on the punt? I just looked it up. Florida State was on their own 5-yard line, and rather than risk a block punt, they punted from the 20, gave them 2 points, but Willie Shelby ran the ball back a good long way.
From Shelby, Mississippi.
Yeah, Willie Shelby, and and it was under 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, you know, one of my favorite players.
We need to mention this, of course. Also, the passing of the great Bart Starr.
Oh
one of the
yeah.
classiest, greatest guys I've heard personally you could ever meet was Bart Starr, and he passed away at 85. We need to mention that.
Oh yeah, no question about it. And he was a great man, and was born and raised in Montgomery, Alabama. And of course, his daddy was a military man. I remember that. He was not a great college quarterback. He stayed hurt most of the time in college. And Albert Elmore out of Troy actually started ahead of him. And you know who Albert Elmore is, don't you, Will? A pretty good golfer, too. Do you remember him?
Very, very good. Yeah, and his son's a very good golfer.
Yeah. Of course, play out at the Montgomery Country Club. And,
Bart Starr won 4 Super Bowls with the Packers.
Yeah. I remember that ice cold one day against Dallas, and Leroy ran by him on that 1 yard, or couldn't get his footing. It was, the ground was frozen, and it was pretty hard for those linebackers. But I remember that so well. Will, were you old enough to remember that?
What was this, Mike?
You talking about the Ice Bowl?
The Ice Bowl, yeah, it was 42 degrees below freezing.
Oh, it was a terrible game that day.
Yeah. But you don't remember that, do you? Do you remember that far back?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I was a Dallas fan growing up.
I was too. I was a little Eddie LeBaron fan. He was a quarterback for Dallas for a long time. Then Don Meredith came around. Where did Don Meredith? This is my first trivia question of the day. If you win, you win a cup of coffee. Where did he play his college football? Will, do you know?
SMU.
You sure right. And SMU had.
You're not gonna get anything by me, probably.
Oh, really? I won't get anything by you.
Not about football.
Where's David Bailey from? Where was David Bailey from? One of my favorite Alabama receivers, David Bailey.
David Bailey?
Yeah, you don't remember David Bailey was a great receiver at Alabama. Mike, he was one of my favorites. But where was his hometown? It's pretty easy.
Is it somewhere in Alabama?
No, he was from Mississippi. Perkins was from Mississippi too, and I'll ask you where he was from. All right, David Bailey was from Bailey, Mississippi. Do you remember that? He was number 84, a great receiver. Mike, look him up in the Laurel.
Bart Starr was a head coach at the Green Bay Packers from 75 to 1983. Named his starting quarterback in 75.
Scott Hunter.
That's right.
From Mobile, Alabama. Well, Richard Todd played. Did Richard Todd play with Green Bay, or where did he play? Played with Jets. Yeah, he played with Jets. Todd probably did, other than Stabler, probably did, and Namath probably did better in the pros than most of them. Compared, of course.
Yeah, but Bart Starr was 52 and 76 as a head coach.
Yeah, I knew he was not a successful head coach.
He only had one winning season and 2 seasons. He finished 500.
All right. I want you to name the 2 great running backs on that Green Bay team, and tell me where they went to college.
Well, you had Hornet played at Notre Dame.
Yeah. All right. Are you looking? All right. How about you, Will?
No, I'm not looking at that. I knew that.
Well, Jim Taylor, I think.
That's right, Jim Taylor. Where did he play his college football?
I don't.
They played side by side, Billy Cannon at LSU. Taylor played for LSU. All right.
I think he was from Baton Rouge too.
He probably was. Yeah, he was a great one. Hard-nosed guy, And of course, you used to could name them all the great receivers. Of course.
Mike, I was. You were talking about Jim Taylor. He died fairly recently.
Just recently.
Seeing something. Yeah, he died fairly recently.
He sure did. No question about it.
Listen to this. What do you think the most money Bart Starr ever made as the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers was?
100,000.
I'd say.
Dad nailed it. 100,000.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, Mickey Mantle. That's the most Mickey Mantle ever made with 100,000. You reckon what old Mickey Mantle would get today, or what would Willie Mays get today, if they, or Sandy Koufax or Bob Gibson?
Mickey Mantle would be the highest paid player in baseball history right now. If he's alive right now.
I would agree.
Yeah, no question.
And of course, and Ted Williams and all those guys. Man, it's amazing what they paid these guys.
Starr took over the head job at Green Bay from Dan Devine. Dan Devine coached in college ball for a long time, too,
Dan Devine had a better record against Bear Bryant than anybody.
Devine coached Notre Dame at one point.
You're right. And beat Alabama, and he coached Missouri and beat Alabama. Dan Devine was a successful, he might be the most overrated coach out there. Underrated coach out there.
Yeah, it looks like he was really good. He was 172 and 57.
Well, that is pretty good. Was that at Missouri or where?
He coached 3 years at Arizona State, where he's 27 and 3. That's unbelievable at Arizona State.
Yeah.
And then at Missouri, he was 92, 38 and 7. And then at Notre Dame, he was 53, 16 and 1. He was a really good coach. Never hear that name talked about much.
Yeah, of course, you're exactly right. That Dan Devine was a very successful football coach. No question about it. I remember he beat Alabama in Birmingham one time early in the year. And then later on, he beat Alabama on national TV one time in the Gator Bowl.
You know what he's most famous for, though?
Dan Devine?
Yeah.
No,
He coached Rudy at Notre Dame and was in that movie.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He was the coach.
Yeah, he coached Rudy.
Rudy went the walk-on, famous, walk-on at Notre Dame.
Exactly right.
It's crazy. As much as I hate Notre Dame, I actually enjoyed that movie.
And you're right. That turned out to be a pretty popular movie, didn't it?
Oh, that was a huge movie.
Very huge movie, yes.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Do you know
I heard that guy made millions just as a motivational speaker, Rudy Rudiger.
I'm gonna tell you something that will surprise you. There was a guy from Dothan, Alabama, that actually had a movie made of him. Did you know that?
Who's that? Johnny Mac Brown?
No. Not Johnny Mac Brown. Of course, Johnny Mac Brown came out of Dothan and was a Hollywood movie star. But they made a movie out of this guy's life.
What, Richmond Flowers?
How did you know that?
I saw the
He's a friend
movie.
of mine.
Wait a minute, but how did you know that, man? That was a long time ago. But
I'm
Rich,
43 years old now.
how old are you?
I'm 43. You're about to be 72. You're getting old, man.
But Richmond Flowers, you remember that? They did a movie of it.
Yeah.
I mean, talking about junior now, not talking about senior.
Richmond Flowers went to Tennessee just because of the track, didn't he?
That's exactly right. And was very successful against Auburn, but one is successful against Alabama. Excuse me. He up top the way, he was very successful against Alabama, but one very successful when he played Auburn back then. But
He was a great football player. He played for the Cowboys, too.
yeah, and I saw him. I tell you what, he was just so fast and a great athlete. But in high school, I saw him do something that I'll always remember. With the state track meet was held in Auburn that year on a cinder track, a dark, a gray cinder track, and that what was wrapped around the stadium at that time. It was run inside the stadium. He ran the 110-yard high hurdles. He had a national high school record at one time of 13.3 or 13.4, something like that. And he is in this race in the state track meet, and he falls about halfway into the race. He falls flat on his face. Instead of laying there and feeling sorry for himself, everybody on the track passed him, and he gets up and finishes second. I thought that was one of the most courageous things I've ever seen. And the guy that beat him, a guy named Patterson, went on and was a great hurdler at University of Alabama. But that was a great, Flowers was a great athlete.
Did Flowers ever compete in the Olympics?
I don't think he did. Now, he ran as a pure freshman against Willie Davenport, the Olympic champion, and he beat him one time indoors. I don't know if he ever beat him outdoors or not. But Flowers could run. He was a great runner. And, of course, at one time, that same time Flowers came around, you had Tommy Wade and Curtis Hillman, Will, were in the Dothan High School backfield. And if Flowers had not moved from Dothan, that's where he was from, and his daddy became Attorney General, so he moved to Montgomery, and he played at Lanier. But
That's right.
It could have been where you'd had Stedman Shealy, not Stedman Shealy, but Tommy Wade, Curtis Hillman, and Richmond Flowers in the same backfield. Would that have been something?
Right. At one time, I think he was the NCAA track champion.
Yeah, I think he was.
In the hurdles.
Yeah.
And that was back in the 60s. And I think he got hurt or something, or he was going to the Olympics.
Yeah, I think that was right.
He got hurt. Yeah, he got hurt.
Well, let me tell you something they don't have anymore now.
They're from Dothan, though, and his daddy for years, when his daddy was an attorney in Dothan.
Yeah.
And was very dear friends with my daddy, and Richmond's living in Knoxville, I think.
Yeah. I saw him at the Alabama.
He's got a brother in Dothan that's married to Roy Skinner's daughter.
Okay. Oh, really? Uh-huh.
Yes.
Isn't that something?
Oh, yeah.
Of course, the Flowers name is well known in Dothan. The hospital's named after Flower. That was As Flowers, wasn't it? Who is the hospital named after down in Dothan?
Paul Flowers. Dr. Paul Flowers.
Okay, I got you. And Flowers he played on the time where I want to tell you a game I went to. That afternoon, I saw Alabama. This is in Birmingham. Play LSU. I think they beat them 16-9 or something like that. Alabama did, and then so they entered the stadium. That game was at 2:00. They entered the stadium, and Auburn played Tennessee that night. Can you believe that? A doubleheader in Birmingham. And Auburn beat Tennessee. And in fact, Flowers turned his ankle on the opening kickoff, and then didn't even play in the game after that. But Auburn.
Yesterday, the annual Rickwood Classic was played in Birmingham. Rickwood Fields. First game was August 18th, 1910, and they played a game there yesterday. Former great players that played at Rickwood Field: Willie Mays, Satchel Paige, Shoeless Joe Jackson, and Bo Jackson. The honorary former major leaguer that threw out the first pitch yesterday was Lou Piniella, Dad.
Oh yeah, the great Lou Piniella.
They had 71. They had over 7,000 fans at the game yesterday.
Oh, that would have been something. That was. They played at old Rickwood.
If anybody has ever been to Rickwood Field, it's something. It's a must see for the state of Alabama.
I played there in an American Legion tournament one time. I was just a young kid. They just had me out there to put another uniform on. But Troy played, I think, a team from Bessemer in the state championships.
Yeah.
But now that's the oldest baseball park in America. Isn't that amazing? Rickwood Field in Birmingham.
I mean, you're talking about what? Yeah. Almost 110 years now?
Oh yeah, a long time ago. Long time ago. And
guys, y'all have a good one. I got to go to court.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. Okay, Mike, you're still on hold, and
yeah, I'm on.
All right, okay. And of course, we're going to take a short break. Brought to you by Troy Bank and Trust Company, Mike. The only bank you'll ever need now with, 3, 4...
14 branches, 13 branches.
They've got 4 outlets in Troy alone, and then, of course, they've got...
we saw one of their top, bankers, Whitney Crow Conrad at the beach.
We sure did, and, of course, she's a sweet person and a very, very good banker. And, of course... Troy Bank and Trust Company is the only bank you'll ever need. Want to mention also our good friends at Bird Drugs on the corner in downtown Troy, and of course one of the great places to eat, not only lunch but breakfast. They start cooking that bacon around 7 o'clock, and if you're on the square, I don't know how in the world you can keep from going back and forth, back and forth. Don't say, Mike, is that the way you pronounce it?
You know, I've never been there. I know that's a bakery in downtown Troy. I tell you what, man.
And their cinnamon rolls are outstanding. I'm telling you, outstanding.
You need to tell Hook's Barbecue they need to open a location on 98 down here. They'll make a killing.
Oh, would they? Yeah, you're right. How about Sisters? You know, everybody.
Sisters would. I mean, I don't even know what words would describe if a place like Sisters moved down here. That's one thing about the beach. I love living down here more than anything. It's been the greatest move possibly ever I could ever expect it. I mean, it's such a wonderful place to live, but meeting threes down here are few and far between.
Yeah. I ate at a buffet in Defuniak yesterday, Mike. That was pretty good.
Oh, really? Defuniak's got a lot of restaurants for a small place.
And it was very reasonably priced, and it was really just a huge buffet. And do you ever go back through Defuniak?
Yeah, I mean that's the way I go by when I go to Birmingham. But
before you get to
anymore because I live here.
Before you get to the stop downtown, it's on your right, and I tell you, I thought it was good. They had a lot of good choices.
Yeah, Defuniak Springs. My wife has told me that they used to have different events there over the years. Apparently, they have a lot of beautiful old homes in Defuniak.
Mike, going to the beach from Troy and going through Elba, there's a station up there that advertises their homemade ice cream. Do you know where between Sampson?
You talking about Clinton?
No, talking about between Sampson and
you're talking about a little gas station on the left?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I've never been there, but I know they sell barbecue too.
Now, let me tell you this. I had a homemade strawberry ice cream yesterday that was as good as I've ever eaten. It was just wonderful. And they have homemade ice creams. They have another choice that I could have had was a pecan pie ice cream. And then there was a peach cobbler ice cream.
You mean butter pecan?
Yeah, butter pecan. But no, they call it a...
they have pecan pie ice cream? I'd like to try that.
That's right. Pecan pie ice cream. And ladies and gentlemen, it's got a name for it.
I mean, it's the little gas station that's been there outside of Sampson going to Elba, isn't it?
That's
it's been
right.
there for years.
That's right. Been there for years.
I think they don't even have to pay at the pump. I think you got to go inside and pay.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think so. But now, you know, there's one store right there where you turn to go to Kinston, that big station. But this is on.
It's been there. Yeah, and then they got a Dollar General across the street from there now.
Yeah, this is on more or less towards Sampson again. But that ice cream is
that's more like 10 miles from Elba. You're talking about like right outside of Sampson.
Yeah, that's right. It's not far outside. It's
not. It's like right before you get to the church.
Yeah, that's right.
Sampson.
And it is they talk about homemade ice cream. It is really good. No question about it. Now, you know, one of my favorites is butterpecan.
You went a weird way back yesterday if you ended up going through Sampson when you were coming through Defuniak.
Well, you know what? Right there at Defuniak, you need to know this. You can take a right there.
I know you can take a right and end up in Sampson. I've done that before.
Yeah, exactly. And when you get to Sampson...
I normally take the right at Freeport and go to Bruce and then go back to Troy that way.
Yeah. You can continue to go on Highway 5 straight, or you can cut down to your right and then right back to your left and go to Sampson.
I will say the drive from when you cut across from Defuniak to Sampson's a lot quicker than the one from Freeport to Bruce.
Yeah.
So that might be maybe the fastest way to go.
But I tell you what, there's a lot of traffic, but still, that is the way to go, is through Elba through Sampson, as far as I'm concerned. I think that.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about
good
that.
roads, good roads.
The only time you got to worry about it is between Ponce de Leon and Bruce. There's a couple sheriffs that are just ready to pull you over.
Oh yeah, Sampson is not the best place in the world to speed either. I tell you, you better be careful right there. Of course,
this time of year, though, I mean, you got so many people coming in from out of state. I'm sure these Florida sheriffs and troopers are just licking their chops.
No question about it. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back in just a moment with more of Today in L.A.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
In a land of luxury lived a dashing man who scoured the land looking for lottery dream homes so winners could live fabulously ever after.
All new My Lottery Dream Home, Friday night at 9 on HGTV.
Have you seen an increase in your insurance premiums or significant change in your insurance coverage? Let Sandbeck Insurance offer you a better plan to suit your business or personal needs. Sandbeck Insurance offers many lines of insurance, whether it's home, farm, or auto insurance, work comp, business, or health and life policies. Sandbeck is here for you. Call or visit our Troy, Enterprise, or Andalusia office today. Sandbeck Insurance, where we take pride in taking care of your insurance needs.
Tori Dunn from Dixie Trails. You get your truck washed here?
I sure do.
Millie Johnson. I know you're not bringing them cow trucks, okay?
I do, and they're like me when I leave.
Loretta, what are you doing?
Getting my car detailed.
At Trojan Detail, we do it all.
I love my job. We get to help people who are having the worst day of their life.
You just got to be ready for whatever hits.
She wasn't breathing. She was almost dead.
Stay still there. Stay still. It's fine.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, and we appreciate all of our sponsors, Troy Health and Rehab, located on the Elba Enterprise Highway for long-term health care, short-term rehab, and we appreciate them very much. And also Dixieland Dental, one of our prime sponsors, been with us a long time, Dr. Michael Precise, Dr. John Street, Dr. Damon Street, and Dr. Robert Precise make up one of the largest dental clinics in Alabama. I was looking at the baseball regionals, and we were in these regions at University of Georgia recently, but I noticed that Jacksonville State made the baseball tournament. That surprised me a little bit. Of course, Duke and Texas A&M play in a region together. Should be a tough one. Tennessee and Liberty play in the same region in Chapel Hill. North Carolina's in that same region. I was looking down here. Illinois or Louisville is 43-15. They're playing in a tournament at Louisville. Should be, of course, Florida State 36-21, playing in a big tournament in Athens with Georgia and Mercer and Florida and Florida Atlantic. And then here's Atlanta region, Russ Chandler Stadium in Atlanta. Atlanta Friday. You've got Coastal Carolina going up against Auburn. Coastal Carolina 35-24, going up against Auburn 33-25. That's 11 a.m. this Friday morning or tomorrow morning. That starts all that. And I'm going to try to pick up some others here. I was telling you, Jacksonville State, can you believe this? They're in the region with the University of Mississippi. Jacksonville 37-21, must have won the OVC, which is one of the worst conferences in the world. Jacksonville should go to the football and baseball championships every year because of the conference they're in. They're in a weak conference when it comes to football and baseball. Of course, Clemson playing Illinois is also, that tournament's been played at Ole Miss. So Jacksonville State made the baseball tournament. Southern University against Mississippi State. Central Michigan against Miami. Those are some games. McNeese against Indiana State. Ohio State against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's 49-10. So they're one of the top teams out there. And, of course, a few more. Coastal Carolina is playing Auburn, of course, and then Arkansas 41-17 is playing in a tournament against TCU in California. So that's some of the baseball games that tournament that that's going on, and then you've got your softball tournament. The actual World Series starts in Oklahoma City today, and Alabama will play tonight, probably primetime television. Alabama's 57-8, playing tonight 8:30 against, listen to this, against Oklahoma. That's 54-3. Those are two pretty good teams right there, and that will be on national TV tonight if you want to watch it. So I think you'll really enjoy it. Hope you've enjoyed our show today, and of course we appreciate all of our sponsors so very much. Now, you know, it shows right there, and we hope that you'll get a good look at our sponsors, and when you're in their place of business, tell them that you want to recognize them on our show every day. Without our sponsors, we can't be there. Southeast Alabama Gas District with home headquarters in Andalusia, but numerous stores all over the Southeast and part of the state of Alabama, and we appreciate Southeast Alabama Gas. We hope you've enjoyed today's show. You'll watch us again today at 1:30 for Today in LA. See you then.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.